Hello to all students, teachers, parents, anyone watching this video. This is our second video in our measurement strand. We're going to be looking at perimeter of irregular shapes as well as finding the elusive x. As always, it's Mr. Benjamin here, happy to be here. But unfortunately again, no Miss Terrio, so we're going to put a little sad face there and a little tear. Hopefully we'll get her into the next video. So if we can recall from our last video, the perimeter of an object is the distance around that object. And in general, we have a known formula for perimeter. So depending on what our object is, for example, we have a rectangle here. And we can see on a rectangle we have a width, a length, and there's actually two of those. So on top here, that's one length, underneath that's another length, and on either side is our widths. These values are equal, so the two widths are the same length, and the two lengths are the same length. So when we want to find out the perimeter, all we need to do is add these values together. There's two ways of doing that when we write it out. We can write out our length plus our width and multiply it by 2, or we can write out length plus width plus width. When we find the perimeter of a square, it's the same idea. We have our length. We have it 4 times in this case because the square has 4 equal sides. Or instead of writing length, we can just write side. Side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4, etc., etc., etc. For our square, since all 4 sides are equal, we can also write side times 4. And in this case, if we measure this square, we can see that it's 2.5 centimeters. And we multiply that by 4, and we have a perimeter of 10 centimeters. So both the square and the rectangle, these are both regular shapes. The sides have equal lengths. So a square, rectangle, hexagon, pentagon, heptagon, all of these shapes have equal length sides. When we see these types of shapes, we have known formulas. It's usually length plus width, or like we said before, 2 times the length plus the width. And we will always find the perimeter of these objects. We will often have irregular shapes. In the last video I left you with a little challenge. It was a specific logo from a company you may know, and in order to find the perimeter of that, there's no really known formula for it, so we'd have to just measure all the sides and add them together. So irregular shapes are shapes with lengths of any size, and because of that, there's no known formula for them. So what you have to do is label and measure each side. So for this oddly shaped object here, we can try to find the perimeter, but we have to label each side first. So we can call this side 1, this side 2, side 3, side 4, side 5, and side 6. There's 6 sides to this shape. So when we write out our perimeter, we have to write perimeter P is equal to side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus side 4 plus side 5 plus side 6. Once we measure all of these sides out, we can then add them together and find the perimeter. So if we look at this weird crown shape here, we're going to write out our formula. Perimeter is equal to, and we're going to count the number of sides so we know how many sides we need to measure. So we've got side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4, side 5, side 6, and side 7. So we're going to write all that out. Side 1 plus side 2, side 3 plus side 4, plus side 5, 6, 7. Now we need to measure each side and write that down so we know what we're adding. So side 1 is about 4 centimeters. Side 2 is about 3.5. Side 3 is 4.5. Side 4 is 4 centimeters. Side 5, 3.5. Side 6 is another 4. And side 7 is 4.5. So we've got 4 plus 3.5, that's 7.5. Plus another half, that's 8. So that's 12 total. Plus 4, that's 16. Plus 3.5, That's 19.5, plus another half is 20, and plus 4 more is 28. 28 centimeters. So in our last video, if you can remember, I did make a mistake, but I caught myself, so I'm going to add this up one more time to make sure I don't make another mistake. It's always a good idea to go back and review your work, because mistakes are very easy to make, and you never actually know you make a mistake. If you know you're going to make a mistake, you're just going to correct it, but you should always go back and review your work and make sure you haven't made a mistake. So I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, half, 28. Yep, should be good. If I do make a mistake, I'm sure somebody will catch it and let me know. But until then, I'm going to put a big smiley face beside my work. So we know if we're given an object with measurements or without measurements, we can measure each side and find its perimeter. But if we are not given an opportunity to measure, and we're given a known perimeter and an unknown variable, we can always find that value. So finding x is, if given a known value for perimeter, we can find the measurement of each side. If we look at this example over here, here's the x, and we found it. We said here it is, but that's not what we want to do. We're actually going to find out what that value is. So in our triangle here, we've been told that the perimeter is 10 centimeters in total. And we've also been told that this side right here is 4 centimeters and this side is 3 centimeters. So we need to find this side. We're using our known formula. Because this is a triangle, we know that side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3, because this triangle only has 3 sides. But we need to rearrange this formula to find out what we're missing. So we can do that two ways. We can rearrange it first, or we can put in our values first. We are first going to do it by rearranging it. So we know perimeter, we know side 1, we know side 2, we want to find side 3. So we're going to try to isolate side 3. We do that by bringing the other values to the other side. So we're going to take side 1 and side 2, and we're going to bring them over here. So perimeter minus side 1 minus side 2 is equal to side 3. I'm just going to write that the other way so it makes more sense. Side 3 is equal to perimeter minus side 1 minus side 2. Now I can put my numbers in, and remember side 3 is what we don't have. Side 3 is x. So side 3 is equal to 10 minus 3 minus 4. And if we do the math there, we'll find out that side 3 is equal to 3 centimeters. Now I'm going to erase all this, and I'm going to put the values in first, and then rearrange. So again, we're going to write out our formula. Perimeter is equal to side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. We're going to put our values in. So perimeter we know is 10 centimeters is equal to side 1 we know is 3 centimeters or 4 centimeters. Either way works. Side 2 is the other side, and side 3 is what we're left over with. So in this case, we can do this mathematical equation. We can add these two up, so we'll have 10 centimeters, which is our perimeter, is equal to 7 centimeters plus side 3. And now we can rearrange. Side 3 is equal to 10 minus 7, which equals 3 centimeters. We can do the same thing just with a rectangle. It'll be the same idea just with a different formula because a rectangle has 4 sides. The other thing we can say with the rectangle is we know this side is equal to this side, and this side is equal to this side. So even if we're only given this value of 8 for this length, we know that this side has to be 8. And we know that this x will be the same as this x up here. So if we know our perimeter is 24, we can put the rest of our known values in. Length is 8 plus width, which we don't know, plus width, which we don't know. These are our x values. So we want to solve for these two. Now if we add the two w's together, we get 2w. So we're going to write that out. 24 is equal to, we can do 8 plus 8, that's 16, plus 2 times w. Now the way we solve for this value, we're going to rearrange the equation again to get 2w isolated. 2w is equal to, and the way we do that is we bring this 24 over. 24 minus 16. We're going to try to solve for 2w. We know that 24 minus 16 is 8. So we have two w's over here, w plus w, and we only have this one 8 over here. We want to get rid of this w. The way we do that is we divide both sides by 2. And 8 divided by 2 gives us 4, so w is equal to 4. Looking at a square, it's the exact same operation, but we know that a square, all 4 sides are equal. So our value, our formula, will be s times 4, number of sides times 4. If we know our perimeter is 20 centimeters, we can find out what each side is, because these are all going to be x. So perimeter is equal to s times 4, or 4s. Same thing. 20, which is our perimeter of this square, is equal to 4s. And now to get rid of that 4 and just find out what s is, we're going to divide each side by 4. These cancel out, we're left with 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 equals s, or s equals 5. So we now know that each side of this square is 5 centimeters. So we're going to do a little bit of an activity. We're going to label, measure, and find the perimeter of each one of these values. That's something you can do on your own for a little bit of practice. And you're also going to try to find x in each one of these. If you're struggling with the way to approach each one of these questions, we've already done an example, so you can go back and check how we did it before. I want to say thank you again for watching my video, and anyone in my grade 7 class, I will see you tomorrow.